This has to be one of the biggest copes I've seen in a long time. Emulators being used in a Nintendo museum. Who could have possibly seen this coming? Like, oh no, Nintendo's emulating their own software. Doesn't that make them hypocritical? No, because they have the capacity to use emulators to showcase their games in this fashion, right? They are showcasing this stuff in a museum. So it's practical to have it running on emulators instead of real hardware, right? It's practical to have this own specialized equipment set up to run the games and to show them to the public and goof around with the oversized controllers, right? Like there's a reason they set it up this way, and they do have the right to do it. Again, Sakurai talked about this. Like he actually used some emulator footage in his YouTube channel. And he emphasized that, like, yes, under ordinary circumstances, this would be illegal. But I have requested permission from Nintendo to show you this, and it was granted. When was the last time you saw a pirate request Nintendo to emulate their games, right? And again, this method of emulation is so different from, like, the commonly accepted, like, piracy equals emulation narrative from gaming YouTubers, that there really needs to be like some kind of big distinction between it, right? Making games on a PC does not somehow make PC gaming the master race. I've seriously seen people like use that warped logic. Using emulators is not inherently illegal, but the way people talk about it on YouTube is. Again, what is so difficult to understand about this? Nintendo, as a business, is utilizing emulation for a practical purpose legally, while the emulation community on YouTube is just pirating all their stuff and trying to justify it, right? Like, again, there's a very big, wide difference in that right there. And the fact that people seriously couldn't see this, that they seriously tried to warp this situation and try to make it out as if Nintendo was being hypocritical, or that they were going to come after themselves, or are they going to sue themselves this time? It's like, no. This is the perfect example of how emulation shills do not know the first thing about emulation laws, right? They don't know anything about what Nintendo's rights are, how they can utilize their property, and what they can do with it, right? They don't understand that these rules do apply to them, right? They don't understand the way they use emulators is completely illegal and should be condemned. In fact, is condemned by Nintendo in all instances, right? The gamer culture really needs to acknowledge that emulation is wrong.